Oh, hello. Welcome back to the fourth part in my Behringer pedal circuit bending video series. We're on the fourth video, and so we're going to start up the fourth pedal. And it's going to be the first part in the fourth pedal part. Yes. So if you don't understand what I mean, I have 4 Behringer pedals that I have acquired, and someone stole the enclosures, and so now I have to do something with the bare circuits. And what I'm thinking is I'm gonna circuit bend them, try to find all sorts of crazy parts that I can mess around with in there, and add a bunch of wires and, buttons and switches and knobs and all of that, and just see how crazy it can go. And then we'll rehouse it into a new box, and I don't know, it will turn out crazy and weird. If you don't know what circuit bending is, it's very easy. Circuit bending is when you poke around in a circuit and you see if you can find weird things that will do something else. When it comes to audio, which is what we're doing here, it's about finding weird noises and weird sounds and making the thing do new things that it didn't do before. We're gonna try to still stay on the making it be a pedal, because you could turn it into just a weird noise machine that is oscillating all on its own, and you can't really play it. It's just making noise, feedbacking into itself and things like that. So if you want to do that, you can do that. It's not hard. I think if you've seen the other videos, you've noticed that I'm having a difficult time not doing that because I can't keep my hands away. But anyway, that's too much of an intro already, so let's just jump into it and start messing with this pedal. Today we're going with the fourth one, and it's Behringer Tube Overdrive, or TO100. I have it right here, and I'm just gonna open this box and put it out there, and we're gonna mess around with it. Another thing that is a good thing to have is a loop pedal, which you will see me be using, so that I don't have to mess around and play guitar at the same time as I'm poking around the circuit. Let's jump into it now. I've said let's jump into it now a couple of times, but this time I really mean it. So here we have it. I have my guitar right here, and the pedal, the looper pedal right here, and the pedal here with the circuit. I use a 9-volt battery because that's what you do in your circuit bending. You don't want to use any other kind of power because, you might do something dangerous. And then we go out to my amp. I have my amp set to as low as I can so I can still hear it. I don't know if you can hear it, but it probably will once the looper is playing and it's not the guitar. So I'm just gonna quickly start by making a little loop and try to have different parts in the loop. So maybe some chords, but also maybe some chugging and some chords that you let ring out, so you can hear the trail of the chord dying out and see if you find something interesting messing around with that. So yeah, let's just let's go crazy. And there you have it. It's just a little bit of chord playing and messing around. And now we can press this to start the effect. I raised it a little bit because I'm having issues hearing it. So there we have it. Okay, and then what we do is we just flip this around. You want the back of the pedal in front of you so that you can actually get a good look at the back. And this is really good. We have our volume control here, so if we need to, we can raise the sound of the loop. Or if I have something I really need to explain, I can turn it down. But anyway, okay. So let's start. And basically what we do is that we have the circuit here, and we take something like alligator clippers like these with a cable in between, and we just start poking around and see what happens. So we might hold it like there, for example, and then over here, for example. And we had a lot of volume loss there. Sometimes we will have to turn on and turn off the pedal, turn off and turn on the pedal, I mean. And sometimes we'll have to unplug the battery. You can hear that the electrolytic capacitors keep the pedal alive a little bit. But anyway, I also have these that I've made, and it's just 2 nails, the kind you hit into the wall, with some electrical shrink tube over it and a cable connecting them. And I can basically, it's just doing the exact same thing as what I'm doing with these alligator clippers, except as you can see, all these little parts are very small. And so it's gonna be a little fiddly for me to find where to put the cable. So using these will make it a little easier for me. So for example, if I hold one here and I hold one here, you can see that I... Ooh! You can see that the tips are very small and they can reach in. Now, if you look closely here, you can also see that there are numbers. For example, right here, it says R12. It's for that resistor. You look at the numbers. So I'm gonna say the numbers once I find something cool, or if I find something cool, and that's how you know that you can add something there. Like here, for example, weird noise. And once I've found them, I'll be back and I'll show you, because sitting around fiddling like this, I know that there are a couple of you who would love to see me sit like that for hours and just look at that, but most of you would rather me just jump to when I've actually found something. So I'll see you in a bit. Okay, so I think I found my first mod. It's just making it a little bit worse sounding and a little bit louder. So here it is, between these 2 points. Basically just giving myself a little bit extra gain and volume in a not over-saturated way, just a little bit extra. So let's add 2 wires and then figure out what we want to put there. The first one is the underside here of R3. Put that one on there. And then the next one is over here, and I think it says R15. But it's right here by the power jack. So yeah. I didn't tell you guys in any of the other videos because to me it was so obvious, actually, to be honest, that I kind of forgot to tell you. But I usually cut the wires a little bit more than this, but on these I do cut them a little bit shorter. Just have as little as possible out so that we can have things not touch, basically. But if I touch these to each other now, we should get some gnarly overdrive. And now we just have to figure out what do we want to put there. Do we want to put maybe a switch, or do we want to put something else? I'm gonna just try a thing very quickly. Yeah, I just wanted to make sure that if I had all the controls at max, this would still be something that is adding, so that it's just, you know, not jumping across a potentiometer or something. I don't have any momentary switches, but it could be kind of fun to have a momentary switch so that I could like put this to a sound that I really like, and then when the solo comes on, I just press this button and I just add thing. But I think I'm gonna go with a switch like this and add that on. Just because I think that having something to step on when it comes to the pedal will make this good. Now, like I've said in all the other videos, if we need to or if we want to, we can switch all the switches out for something else later down the line. Nothing is set in stone, and what we have on the ends here is more of a question of how we want things to interact with each other. Just keep that in mind, that like when you do this for yourself, you decide how wacky you want the controls for your pedal to be and how you want the interaction to be. But now we have the switch, and I'm thinking we'll have 2 foot switches maybe. One for the bypass, which, you know, when we go to put it into enclosure, I'll show you how to change this so that you have one of these. It's super easy. But for now, we can just play the pedal, you know, and then when we jump into the solo, we'll just go like... Yeah, so that's the first mod. We have it. Let's see if we can find more. I've been sitting here longer than you might think. This one is a hard one to find something interesting. Usually I want to find something a little bit wonky and weird and crazy. But I'll be right back, hopefully. Okay, so I think I found my next mod. The first one is right up here by the other one, and it's Se1. So let's see if we can add this little wire right there. And then actually you can use any of these connections right here, but I felt like when I touched it to this electrolytic capacitor's positive leg right here, that something it just felt a little more interesting than anywhere else. Yeah, you can just follow the trail that goes on the board. I have something to point with here. Here you have R14, and on the other side you can see a trace go straight down here. Oh, sorry, cable. Straight down here to electrolytic capacitor's leg right there. And then when these two touch, we get this weird square wave thing with this weird whistling sound. I'm just gonna add a regular switch like this. I have one with one broken leg. It doesn't matter which legs you use. And here we have it. And when I press it, it should turn on. And then we try out the other effect and see what happens. And we get weird craziness. I don't know what to say, but I think this. Sounds pretty cool. In some weird way it does, at least. And this weird whistling thing, I think is cool as well. I think maybe having a switch like this is the wrong thing. But I think it's still pretty cool. Maybe a momentary switch for that one. Yeah, I'm gonna keep on looking, because now I'm starting to get into this and feeling like this is doable. So, yeah, alright. So I think I found... this is stupid. This is silly and crazy and I'm just doing it because I think it's fun, okay? I know some of you are gonna be like, where and when are you ever gonna use this? But, you know, I gotta do it. Right here we have R8, and on the top here we can connect a cable. But I'm going to connect it here, by this lug here, because it's just a little more convenient to connect to something a little bit bigger. So, I'm just going to do that. And then, these are like zigzagging put together, so you can basically put it anywhere in between on this row, depending on how you want the sound. But there is a place here, right after, on R9, on the underside, where I think that it's just the most gnarly and wacky. And I think a momentary switch is just what I need for this. So I'm gonna pre-tin this momentary switch. One connect there and the other one connect here. So let's press this and enjoy the madness. Are you ready? Okay, 1, 2, 3. Let's try it with the other one. Oh, it doesn't work with that one. Okay, what? It's like a weird feedbacky overtone thing that just will lie there, like, and it will follow your chords. If you listen carefully to this horrible sound, it is playing the chords. I don't know if that made any sense to any of you guys, but I actually think that's funny. I think that's funny. I'm gonna look around a little bit more. I thought this was gonna be the one pedal that maybe didn't have that many sounds in it, and that maybe we would be lucky to find one. But I'm having fun right now, so I'm gonna continue looking a little bit, and I'll be right back. So here is my next mod. It's R1 on the underside, and it's D3 on the upper side. And this thing was way too loud. It wouldn't be usable. So I put a 10k resistor on that end there. And I decided to do that even though I said we were gonna add parts in other videos, just because I wanted to show you, you know, something else. So here we have that, and here we have a switch, another broken one. I only seem to have broken switches. And then I hold this one up to the middle leg, just like usual, you know, but with that 10k resistor as well. And I hope you guys can hear that when I press this. The volume is almost the same, but I might switch this out for something a little bit lower, because I feel like a little boost in volume is a good thing for what happens. And nothing happens. Wait, what? Yeah, something is happening. I don't know if you can tell, but it's like a little boost. I'm gonna press this one. Actually, I'm gonna switch that out for something a little bit lower. I don't really know what yet, but I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. So now I've switched the 10k out for a 5k, and I don't know if you can tell, but I can tell that it's much better. If I put everything to max, we get a little bit more volume and you'll hear it. It's a subtle effect, but I actually kind of like it. I actually think I like the pedal better without it, so I might actually just pop a resistor in between those two, because it's just it gives the pedal more bass, I feel like, and it does make it a little bit more distorted. I don't know if this is a circuit bend or if this is a mod to just pop a resistor between the R1 and the D3. I think I'm gonna just quickly take a look and see if I can find maybe a 2.2k or something like that, and just see what happens if I put one of those in there instead, because it's just a bare wire is just too much. That's way too much. The pedal becomes so loud that it's unusable. You will have to have the volume at basically 0 for it to work. So I'll be back real soon. All right, so I actually put a 3.3, but I think that maybe I like that the way it is now. But the weird thing is, I kind of like the way the pedal sounds, just like this. It's not super exciting, but you know, it's a tube overdrive or whatever it's called, and it sounds fine. But when I press this button that I have right here, that is connected between D3 and R1, it sounds better. And the issue I'm having right now is when I flip it back, I don't like the sound of the pedal anymore. So just listen to this. So here it is. And then I flick the switch. And when I flick it back, it's too thin all of a sudden. So, I don't know. If you guys were hoping to find a mod in on any of these, like a permanent thing, then I would honestly just bridge those two connections with a 3.3K resistor, and I'd call it a day, honestly. What we need to do now is we need to unsolder this one. And the reason why we need to heat this up again is because we can't have this falling around in there and be all goofy. So even though we might take this apart, I'm gonna put heat shrink tube over here, and then we can reattach this again. We can't have that flopping around. Too big of a risk having that resistor just flopping about. We shrink it a little bit at least. Something like that. We'll shrink it better later. Still works. Okay, I think we're done. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 mods. Now let me just recap real quickly. The first one I think was this big switch here. It goes between R3 on the lower side and R15 on the lower side. Then we have this weird button here that I don't know if anyone wants, and it's R8, but I set it on the pot to the underside of R9. And then we have this pot, and this one is between this capacitor here, the electrolytic capacitor, but you could set it to the underside of R14 and the top of C10. And then we have this last one that I just added, and it's the bottom of R1 to D3 with a 3.3K resistor. Well, there you have it. It looks crazy. I hope you found this to be fun and interesting. Let me know by giving the video a like. And I hope that if you're new here and if you're new to circuit bending and pedal building and all those things, and also new to the channel, that you will press the subscribe button so that you will know. Also ring the bell, which is something I never tell you guys to do. Talk to me in the comments below because, as I've said in the other videos, but if you haven't seen those, you don't know. This whole circuit bending thing that I'm doing now, this series of videos, it very heavily relies on you guys also picking around inside of these pedals and seeing if you find something interesting and letting me know so that we can all benefit from this together. I try to just be the vessel, the bearer of the news, the communicator, the messenger, there is some Greek god that I'm thinking of right now. Anyway, I'm a Greek god. Anyway, I'm sorry. I'm already starting to ramble and sidetrack. So I'm going to go and do that by bothering and nagging someone else. And not you guys. But anyway, thanks so much for watching. Until next time, don't forget to stay awesome and cool and go and circuit bend something and just have fun. That's the most important part. This is fun. It's a little bit tedious. You sit there and in the beginning you don't really find anything and you start to wonder if you're crazy or if you're doing something wrong. But then eventually you just find something. You poke around and then you find something. So go do that, and I'll talk to you guys in the comments below and in the next video. Bye-bye for now. I don't know what I'm doing with my hands. I never know what I do with my hands.